Hello and welcome to our Money Fear is Real and How You Change It Facebook Live series. Today we're on day 16 and we're going to talk about money blocks. What's standing between you and your money? You may know, you may not know, but we're going to get a lot of clues today, and I'm sure we're going to find some. Are you with me? Good. Cool. So you might be a money blocker if you do certain things, but you don't do other things. So a lot of people think, oh, it's only if I do this or I do that. That's what blocks my money. But that's really not true. Hi, Ellen. Welcome. It's also things that you don't do. So let's just talk. Let's talk about what is a money block. Yes, Ellen noticed my money necklace. Thank you, Ellen. It's actually my mother's. I'm borrowing some of my mother's clothing and jewelry while I'm here because I didn't plan on being up here for so long, but thank you for noticing. What is blocking me? I'd like to ask you that question. Put it in the comments if you know. What's blocking you? Like your moat monster. What's your moat monster of money? It could be you. I don't know. I'm just saying. Could be. Something about you. Something about your experience. Something about your programming. It could show up as playing small, as keeping a low profile, being distracted all the time, being busy all the time, but yet going nowhere fast. That's pretty common. Or just staying safe without ever really taking a risk, or just barely taking a risk. I'm not saying take huge risks. I'm saying take calculated risks, because that's the only way we ever get further along on our journey, is when we take a calculated risk. And we need your nervous system to be okay with going outside of the comfort zone. And once we get the money blocks out of the way, then your comfort zone all of a sudden expands. Welcome, Debbie. Oh, some of my favorite ladies are here today. I'm so excited. Yes, Ellen has shared her moat monster is I don't deserve. Ha ha, Ellen. You are in good company, sister, because that is one of the top 4 money blocks that women have. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy, which is also I don't deserve, fear of success, and fear of failure. So, excellent. Are you guys ready for some fun today? We are going to go take a deep dive. Make sure you're breathing. We are going to hop in to some money blocks. I have a chart here, so I'm going to be referencing my chart. Hi, Grace. Welcome. So, you might be a money blocker if you are, and then I'm going to read some things, and I want you to have a pencil or a pen ready, or type it in your computer. Let me know how many of these you have. And as we're going through them, you might want to just make a note of the ones that give you a particular zzz. You know, when I say them, you're like, ugh. You know, it kind of puts that chill in you, or that grisly feeling. Those are the ones that you would need to be working on. Those would be your high priorities. So here we go. You might be a money blocker if you are a people pleaser. Who knew? Go ahead. Who has that one? If you have any of these, push the thumbs up button, and then we'll know where everybody's at. So if you're a people pleaser, you're going around trying to please other people all the time. Well, your needs are probably not getting met. And I will reference you back to one of our previous sessions that we had about getting your needs met and Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where our first level of needs, okay, Ellen's got this one. Yeah, I know that too, Ellen. She's an incredible people pleaser. She's so awesome at it. So is Nancy. Yay. So our basic needs must be met. And if they're not met, there's going to be glitches. There's going to be problems. We're not going to feel good. We're certainly not going to be wealthy enough to do the things we want to do, to have a comfortable lifestyle, to be able to give back, to be able to make the difference that we're meant to make in this world. Hi, Anise. Thank you for coming. Nice to see you. So you might be a money blocker if you are, and for those people who just came on, we're going through different money blocks, and if you have a piece of paper and a pen, you can take a note, or on your computer or on your phone, make a note of which ones you have. So at the end, we're going to count how many you have, and also those ones that give you the zzz, that really just jack your nervous system when we say it, and you go, oh yeah, that's me. All right, you might be a money blocker if you are a yes woman or a yes man. Another variety of a people pleaser. So if you have that one, give me the thumbs up so I know that you've got that. Kind of see where we're all at here as a group. Good. All right, good. That's a popular one. All right, next one. You may be a money blocker if you are overwhelmed, overworked, and overserving. I thought it said overseeing. I'm like, that's not right. Oh, good. Nancy's saying, those in the chat, please share on your timeline to support me. Oh, thank you, Nancy. That's really sweet of you. Yes. So, Nancy is a yes person. Good. I mean, not so good, but good to know. Let's say that. Good. All right. So if you're overworked, overwhelmed, or overserving, that means you're going beyond your limits. That means you are going above and beyond serving your needs, because you would not be in that situation if you were making sure that your needs were met. So your needs, such as they're identified on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So in the bottom, those are the physiological needs. Things like breathing, water, food, shelter, things like that. So those you can see are very basic needs. And many women will sacrifice themselves in order to be able to be a people pleaser, to be a yes woman. Some men will do this too, but it's more common for women. And what that results in is them overworking, overserving, because they are trying to please other people, or they are a yes woman or a yes man. Also, another reason why number 3 here might be an issue for us is because we don't feel good enough about ourselves to be able to take care of our needs. We don't feel like we deserve the same care that we would be giving to our good friends. Or sometimes they're not even good friends. The key is to start removing these blocks so that you can then feel good, feel confident, feel powerful, take your power back, and then you won't be doing this. I can guarantee it. You'll be having the time of your life, and you'll be making a lot more money. You'll be feeling great. You'll have wonderful, supportive people around you. Just life is so different once you get over this hump. The next one is you might be a money blocker if you are feeling stuck. Anybody feeling stuck? Raise your hand, push the little thumbs up button, or type a comment. Actually, that would be better, as Nancy pointed out. Thank you. So that's our number 4. Are you feeling stuck? If you are, you might be a money blocker. So let's push the pause button for a moment. I want to review some of the things that cause us to have these specific blocks, because we're going into very specific patterns here. A lot of them, people do not make that connection to, oh, that is a money block. They just think, oh, that's my personality, or I've always done it that way, or that's just kind of the way it works. That's my life. That's my lot in life, and that's the way it is. No, it doesn't have to be like that. I say no, no, and no. So a money block is something like a false belief, a limiting decision, conflicting parts, strategies that are wonky. Strategy is a process of how you do things. So it's a process that does not end with a happy, good feeling, and it has some destructive elements to it. And I think we've gone through all of those in previous sessions. If you want to go back and revisit any of those, they're all on the Facebook timeline there. You can go back to the day, whichever one you want. So those are patterns, and those create a program that creates our money blocks, because our money blocks, they don't just pop out of thin air. They have a basis to them, and they have a source. That source is the mindset, the body set, and the heart set. And those three combined are what must change. First, we need to untangle them. As we're doing that, then we eradicate them and we reset them. And as we do that, we are resetting our nervous system back to the rest and digest phase. When we're in the rest and digest phase, we have the dopamine and serotonin running through us. Those of you who are familiar with the runner's high, that's our natural state. That's kind of, that feel good feeling. Yeah. So let's move on to number 5. You might be a money blocker if you are earning less money than you know you can. Is that you? Now, you may not have all of these, and that would be great if you don't have all of them. If you do, it's okay too. Just know that there is help. The first step is awareness to the change. Welcome, Loretta. All right, moving on to number 6. So you might be a money blocker if you are at a plateau. If you're at a plateau, that means you've reached a certain level of contentment being there, whatever it is. Even though you may be content in your misery, you're content on some level. And as long as the pain of the current situation, whatever you're in, is less than the fear of the unknown of going beyond that plateau, well, guess what? You're going to stay there. So the pain usually has to get pretty high to get out of a plateau, or to get off of a plateau, also to get off of a low for completeness sake. Or you don't have to reach that much of a pain. You just have some wisdom, or you listen to your intuition and you say, I just don't like it. I don't like being here. This is not me. I reject this. This is not happening. One thing I like to say to people when, because amazing things happen to me all the time. Like I was on a podcast a week ago with Steve Olsher, for those of you who know. He's a podcasting guru. He had, 1,000 people on the call, close to that. And he had a guess. He said, whoever can guess the number I'm thinking of between 0 and 99, whoever can guess that accurately and first, I will let them come on and pitch my podcasters. He had 6 podcasters on there. So I guessed number 44. That's one of my favorite numbers. That was the number I had on my jersey when I was playing college basketball and high school basketball actually too. So I said, I'm going to go with 44. I have a good feeling about this. And he picked me. This is how my world works, and this is how your world can work. Once you get these blocks cleared, you get your nervous system reset. Whoa, anything is possible, all is well. And you have all of a sudden so many more choices that are visible and tangible to you. They may have been there before, but you just couldn't see them, you couldn't touch them, or maybe you could, but you just chose not to. There's all kinds of different manifestations of that. So my world operates very differently. Another one is I always get good parking spots. Like, I just know it, I expect it, and boom, there they are. They show up. It's kind of an ongoing comedy with my boyfriend, who doesn't believe that parking spaces can be available close to the front. I do. So when we're together and he's doing his rah, 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 I know he wouldn't mind me telling you. He's like, no, we're not going to get a parking spot. And I'm like, yeah, we are. And we always do. So all that to explain that, yes, things are totally available to be different to you. These blocks must be cleared, like I've said, from the mindset, the body set, and the heart set. And Ellen just mentioned that I'm the first person to show her that her money blocks were also in her body. So although these are conceptual, what we're talking about, these specific money blocks, they are embodied in your body. Embodied money blocks. Might be a new concept for some of us, but it's true because it accesses through our neurology, through our nervous system, and our fight-flight response. So we could be walking around like this, we could be walking around like this with the poor posture, closing us off, really does this to the confidence and the power and the ability to move forward, because we're literally almost frozen. So what we need to do is unfreeze our body and our mind to unfreeze our money. I know Debbie's going to hashtag that one. So we're playing this little game, hashtag gold, for any gold nuggets that you get here today. So anything that you see or hear that is a realization, it's an aha, do hashtag gold, and then write out what it is for you. Or something you'd like to share. That's good too. All right, we're moving on. How are we doing? We're doing fantastic. You might be a money blocker if you are overextended in debt. Who knew? Yeah. If you're relying on debt to finance your lifestyle, and I'm not saying, you're living the lifestyles of the rich and famous. I'm saying whatever your lifestyle is, and that could be basic needs. Whatever it is, if you are relying on credit to do that, then you are blocking your money. Ellen got the hashtag, unfreeze your body to unfreeze your money. Love it. So debt is a very interesting thing. Debt can be a very powerful tool when used strategically. And usually it's used for expansion or for change. So for example, last year, and the year before for that matter, I invested a lot of money. Now, I actually did not go into debt because I had, and still have, savings. But a lot of people who would have been in my position, in order to expand, they would have had to take on debt. I didn't do that. But if I were to have done that, I would make sure and calculate to the best of my ability to pay it back. Now, that's not to say, hey, if you're in dire straits and you need a loan to pay the rent and get groceries, well, that's a smart move. I'm talking about more of the decisions around a business at this point. Okay, so here we go. I don't have these numbered, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're on number 8. Experiencing debt that is keeping you paying for the past and affecting your future. So this is just another variation of debt. So maybe you had some hard times or made some bad choices. Doesn't matter. I'm not judging. Whatever it was that put you in debt, and maybe now you're doing okay, but you're still paying for the debt of the past. That's another form of a money block. And you might say, Olympia, but I'm making good money now. Well, you are, but you have a bit of a ball and chain going on. So whenever we have debt, even if it's good debt, it's still in our amygdala going, yeah, I got to pay that back. How am I going to pay that back? Oh, I got that covered this month. Next month I'll be good too. But even if you are good for paying it back, you're still processing it in your unconscious mind. It's almost like nails on a chalkboard, or more better put, like an alarm. Oh, I got that debt. Yeah, I got to pay that back. I got to pay that back. Or I can't do this opportunity, take advantage of it, because I have this debt from before. So that's one. Here's a good one. You guys sitting down? This one is one that most people would never suspect. You might be a money blocker if you are hoarding money. Yeah, that's right. I said hoarding money. If you're hoarding money, that means you're in a scarcity mindset. Even though you may have some money, you're not allowing that money to work for you, to bring you pleasure, to serve you, to give you security. When I was in corporate America, I was a great money hoarder. Sign me up. That was my life. I was making a lot of money. I was running multi-billion-dollar programs. I had 33 people working for me. I was making $5 to $20 million in sales a year. Like, the numbers were big. And my bank account just kept adding up and up and up. Now, part of that was I worked so much that I didn't have any time to spend it. And by the time I finished working 60 to 90-hour weeks, I was exhausted. I'm like, I don't want to do anything. So, long story short, I was hoarding money, and I didn't know it then, but now I understand what I was doing. I was placing security in money. I placed it outside of myself and with money. And so I would reach a certain benchmark of income, and I'd say, okay, well, actually, I need to make this much. And when I make this much, that's when I'll be able to relax. That's when I'll be able to rest and digest. That's when I'll take a vacation. I went 4 years without a vacation. And then I'd reach that benchmark. And then the next year, I'd go, oh, you know what? The number, I don't really have that secure feeling. No, I'm really still not secure. I need to make this much. And so that was an endless cycle until I stopped it. But that was effectively hoarding money. I didn't spend money on much of anything. I mean, I basically just paid my mortgage and insurance and my car payment and, whatever else were the necessities of life. I didn't go out and buy a nice car. Even I was driving a Honda Accord that was like 6 years old. All my peers who were corporate executives, they laughed at me. They're like, why are you driving a Honda Accord? And I'm like, because I want to. I like my hashtag gold. I like my car. I'm going to do the hashtags now with you. So, yeah, everybody else was driving Mercedes and Porsches and the big BMWs. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to spend my money on that. I have enough. I could buy that, but I don't value that. So, no thank you. I'm just fine with my Honda Accord. And by the way, my car doesn't break down, and yours does. Okay, we digress a little bit, but that's a hoarding example. You might be a money blocker if you are making good money, yet you spend more than your means. So yeah, you have money rolling in. You just overspend. And I'm not judging you. I'm just saying you're spending it maybe as fast as you bring it in, or maybe you're spending more than what you bring in. That's a sure sign of a money block. Who has that one? Go ahead and type in the chat. Christina and Alicia, welcome. We're going through specific money blocks. So you might be a money blocker if you are, and then I'm reading different ones. We're discussing them. And then I want you to make a note of which ones are affecting you. And at the end, we're going to add up the total. Hey, Leslie, welcome. So Nancy, oh my God, this is so funny. Nancy's saying she's currently hoarding toilet paper, but that's another issue. Okay, Nancy, I'm going to come and get some toilet paper. Just kidding. Okay, so next one then is, oh, this is a good one. You might be a money blocker if you are isolating yourself. How does that work? How am I blocking money if I'm isolating myself? I'm just here minding my own business. I'm not blocking money. Well, it works like this. When we're in isolation, we are not really able to be our best selves because we are wired to be in community. And as we're in community with other people, connecting with them, sharing with them, going through a giving and a receiving, getting the atta-girls or the atta-boys, or getting some comfort or some compassion or some empathy if we need it. All of that is signs that you're isolating yourself if you're not being in community. Now, I know we're in the COVID-19 virus time. You can still be in community and get the great benefits from that. You don't have to be in it, face to face in person. You can do it just like we're doing here with a Facebook Live. You can do it with a telephone call. You can do it with email, not as great as a face to face, but it still is part of the connection. So if you're isolating yourself, you are surely blocking your money. And by the way, when you're in community, the sharing of the ideas, the sharing of the resources being anything like time, attention, money, tools, systems, introductions to other people, power partnerships, any of that, you've cut yourself off from that if you're isolating. And so, yes, in fact, you would be blocking your money because it's so much easier when you do it together. How are we doing? Let's see, we're doing a time check. Okay, so I'm going to skip some of these just for the essence of time. Okay, here's one we might be having. You might be a money blocker if you are having health issues from stress and being stressed out. Is anybody having that one? Type in the comments. I'm having that, and what you might be having if you want to share it. When I was in my corporate executive days, I was so stressed out. I wasn't sleeping. I was grinding and clenching my teeth that I literally broke a tooth. It's the only crown I have in my mouth. I was in my early 30s when that happened. I also was developing an ulcer. And I went around to all these different doctors and they all said, I don't know. And finally I went to this specialist. I'm like, this specialist at USC, he is going to know what's happening. I need an answer. And I told him, I said, don't beat around the bush. Give it to me straight. What's going on? And he said, well, you don't have an ulcer yet, but you are well on your way. He said, if you maintain your stress levels in the next 4 to 6 months, you will have an ulcer. And I'm like, oh, thank you for that straight talk. So yeah, it's real. Lots of stress affects your body, it affects your mind, and it affects your heart. Emotions get stuck. Your capacity to handle the emotions goes down. We talked about it before, it being a cup. Here's my cup. These are your emotions, your capacity for emotions, and it's full, and all these other emotions are trying to get in, and they just spill over, and yet they get stuck in the body, in the mind, and in the heart. So those have got to move. If they stay there for any length of time, they are going to become health problems. they're going to become diseases. Like, there's a lot of things that will happen. And by the way, what else you're doing by having intense periods of stress is you're getting, your immune system is being compromised, because your immune system needs to have more support than that. And when you're under high loads of stress, you're in that fight-flight mode, having that sympathetic nervous system activated, and you are pumping adrenaline and cortisol through your body. It's like pumping high-octane fuel. You are being ridden hard and put away wet. And then you're ridden again. It's not pretty. So I think I've made my point there about the stress. All right. So we're having what I think is a great discussion, and we're going a lot slower than I planned, which is good, because I'd rather go slower and be more thorough than gloss over things. So let's see. Putting yourself last is another money block. Who does that one? You might be a money blocker if you're putting yourself last. This is kind of in tune with some of the earlier ones we talked about, where you're giving other people priority and sacrificing yourself and your needs for theirs. Now, I'm not talking about a young child who obviously you need to support, but I'm talking about other people. Oh, Leslie's sharing, I have some mass consciousness stress, but doing pretty well. Good. But she has been isolated and coming out now. Great, Leslie. Leslie is such a people person, such a connector. You know, you need that. So I'm glad you're back. And that will shift your money. You're right. Good. So let's see what else we have here. We talked about that. Equating money with security. We actually did talk about that in one of my stories, but let's throw that out here. Is that one that you have? You might be a money blocker if you are equating money with security. I'm talking about real security. I'm not talking about the security of, okay, pay the rent, or the mortgage, pay for my car, pay for my food. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you really place your security outside of yourself, and you're never actually going to get it because you're trying to get it from this external force. That'd be like trying to place your security outside of yourself with someone else. It's not going to happen. Okay. Welcome, Christina. Okay, I'm going to pick off just a couple more here. Okay, you might be a money blocker if you are stressing about having enough money for things that matter. Things like retirement. Who's stressing about that? Things like me time, giving back, having fun with your family, having fun with your friends. So that was number 15. Let me just see if there's any other ones. We'll go quickly through a few of these other ones and just keep track, because the people who just recently came on, we're keeping track of how many of these money blocks we have, and at the end we're going to share that. So the 16th one, you might be a money blocker if you are holding tension and fear about money in your body. How do you know you're doing that? Well, you might know already, but if you don't know, when somebody talks about money, or you just think about money, when you think about money, what's your first thought? And what is that? What happens in your body? Do you get a tightening? Do you get a restriction? Does your breath go? Do you grit your teeth? Do you look around? Do you look away? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's number 16. Okay, let's see what else. Missing close connections with people. You might be a money blocker if you're doing that. Again, that's another flavor of the isolating yourself. It's another way to say it for us. Feeling like you're faking it till you make it. That is a pretty common one for women. But you are blocking your money if that's what you're experiencing. This is a good one. Keeping you and your business small so that you can feel safe. Ooh. Ooh. That one is a little bit scary. Maybe a lot scary. Because if you're keeping yourself small, well, by the way, your business is going to be small too, then in order for you to feel safe, then you're never going to get where you need to go. And we're all relying on you to play your part here. Each one of us has a contribution to make to humanity, to other people, to the planet, to whatever it is. Everybody talks about making a difference and having an impact. Well, it's your gift or gifts to share with the world, and other people are relying on you. So why would you rob them of that experience if you're just feeling like, it's not safe out there? So you definitely have, I'm going to just let you know, spoiler alert, a lot of money blocks if this one's going on. This is like a top level one, but it's got other ones below it that need to shift. All right, so that was number 19. We're going to do one more so we have an even 20. Oh, this is a good one. Saying no to things you want to say yes to. These are the things that serve you. These are the things that bring you joy. Are you saying no to these things? Could be any number of reasons why. We don't really care about the reasons why right now. We're just saying, are you doing it? I used to do that. I did that a lot. So that's where I came up with this one. I'm like, ooh, yeah, that's happening. Okay, so we've got 20 so far. Please put in the comments how many of the 20 did you get? No shame. No judgment here. I'm just curious. I would like to know how many of them. If you only came in on some of them, just how many of those did you get? I want to see where we're at. And identifying them, as I said, is the very first step of knowing what's happening so that you can make a change. And there's a lot of different techniques to make changes. Part of what we did today, me talking about it, was actually helping you to change. I was metaphoring you. And a metaphor is a neuro-linguistic programming technique that helps your mind to start to change, to reframe things. Okay, Nancy got 10. Way to go, Nancy. And which one was the one that really, really got you going? The one you just went like, oh, yeah, yikes. I really don't like that. That's really bothering me. Please share in the comments right now which one was the one that really did that for you. And that would be the one that is the most challenging for you. Hi, Jacques. Welcome. We're talking about money blocks and how they serve us or don't serve us. It's the illusion of serving us. So when we have money blocks, what we're doing is we're blocking ourselves from our money, and that doesn't serve us. It keeps us further away from where we're supposed to be and what we're supposed to be doing and the people we're supposed to be serving. They're waiting for us. And as we're doing that, we are losing out on opportunities that would be much more beneficial for us. So we're saying no to things that really would serve us. But guess what? We're probably saying yes to things that don't serve us. And so we're so busy over here with our head in the sand, we can't see or feel or touch these other opportunities that are right before us. We just can't see them. It's called a lost opportunity cost. Okay, Nancy's top one was keeping yourself and business small to keep yourself safe. Yeah, that's a deep one. That's a really deep one. I'd be surprised if the majority of people on the call did not have that one. Yeah, good. Okay, so we are going to conclude our call today, our Facebook Live. And if you would like to know a little bit more about what your money blocks are, I have a quick, fun 2-minute quiz. It's at mymoneyblocks.com. And when we're done, I'm going to put that in the comments. mymoneyblocks.com. When you take that quiz, it asks you a variety of questions similar to these. They may not be exactly, but similar to these. And then it gives you a score within a range, and it tells you where you are with your money. So mymoneyblocks.com. You can take that at any time from your phone, from your computer, from your iPad, whatever works for you. We're going to be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. and we're actually going to continue the discussion of money blocks because we only got through the first part of what I wanted to talk about, which was you might be a money blocker if you are doing all of these things. So tomorrow we're going to talk about you might be a money blocker if you are not doing all of these things. So it'll be really interesting. I hope you can come back tomorrow for part 2, and we'll continue then. Thank you so much. We'll be back at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow. And remember, you can always listen to all the replays. You can go back. Today was day 16. You can go back to any of the other days or all of the other days. And I'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.